A lot of people get to January, get credit card bills, look at their bank account, come out of the fog and the haze of the holidays and go, what did we do? What did we spend? Maybe you are one of those people, or maybe you're overall very frugal, but just looking for a few more tips here or there to add to holiday savings overall. No matter what you're looking for, I have a list of 16 things that I think are tips that you may be able to use to save more money this holiday season. Now, this is a very diverse list. I try to cover something for everybody, so take what works for you and leave the rest. Now, stay tuned to the end of the video because I'm going to talk about a list of gifts that I think are great ideas. They're more consumable type of gifts that are really easy for anybody on your list. Don't forget, if you enjoy my channel, it does help it out if you hit that like button. Also, you can hit the subscribe button. That way you see videos from me in the future. You can also leave a comment down below, and I would love to hear how you are planning to save money this holiday season. So let me know in the comments. Number one is to reevaluate who you actually give gifts to. Many people are just giving people overall and they give gifts to everybody, but it might be a situation where things are getting really expensive with inflation and you just can't do that anymore. So perhaps reevaluate it. Do you really need to give all adults gifts, siblings, cousins, etc.? Maybe you do the kids. We just give gifts to the kids, or you do Secret Santa so you can get a nice gift and everybody gets one nice gift rather than a bunch of small things. Do you really need to give gifts to everybody in your office or that you work with? I mean, you probably don't spend a lot of money on those people, so maybe it might be worth not doing the $5 kitschy item because that's how much you can spend when you have that many people and they really don't actually want a whole bunch of those things anyway. Maybe you just make something yummy and bring that in for everybody to enjoy. This comes with also having hard conversations with your family. Maybe you just sit down and say, we just can't give all the nieces and nephews and everybody in the family gifts this year. We're really trying to buckle down. The thing that you might find out is they might actually be relieved by you relaying this information because they are also feeling the pinch and you were the one brave enough to broach the conversation. Now, if they scoff off and say, well, that's dumb, that's why? Well, if you had those relationships with family, maybe reevaluate the boundaries that you have there. Number two, with the holidays come holiday get-togethers with family, work, friends. You may even have special themed get-togethers. Well, here's one thing that I would caution you against is going out and buying something brand new to wear, a brand new outfit. I'm going to let you in on a little secret, okay? Most people that are at that occasion aren't going to pay attention to what you're wearing. They are more concerned about what they're wearing, same as you. So maybe just revamp something that you already have. Wear what you wore last year. One of the biggest waste of money that, in my opinion, again, this is my opinion because it's my channel. If you've got mean comments about it, spare me, is those ugly sweater get-togethers where people go out and buy horrible looking ugly sweaters that is an actual industry. I mean, a very big industry where they make just disgustingly ugly and sometimes extremely inappropriate sweaters so you can wear to these one time a year parties, and you most certainly aren't going to go to next year's party wearing the sweater you wore last year. It was such a hit. Everybody's going to remember it. It's such a waste of money to me. It's not necessary. It's one thing that you're never going to wear again. If you love your ugly sweater parties, you do you. It's completely up to you, but this is, again, my opinion. Number three is to stop buying holiday-themed junk. When you go, and you're a frugal person already, a lot of times one of the mentalities of frugal living is going to get deals or saying, oh my goodness, that thing is so cheap and so cute. I'm gonna get it because it's so inexpensive. I'm getting a great deal. But a lot of times these things are just junk, things at the dollar stores or in the dollar spots, and they end up being tossed into storage for the next year. You store all this stuff, so you're paying more for storing it, and then you actually pull it out and go, why did I buy that? Why did I waste my money? Just try at all costs just to avoid the holiday junk that, again, is its own industry in itself. Number four is one of my most favorite ways to shop, and it's to shop online. I'm sorry, but it is the best, most efficient way that I've found to shop, besides going out and clothes shopping or shoe shopping. Those are very difficult for me to do online. You may have had the same experience, unless it's a pair of jeans that I already know or a store that I already know is my size. But for other things, such as gifts, or even for kids' clothes, which you know their size overall, or anything that you might be getting, online shopping for me is the way to go for several reasons. You can definitely find the best deal when you're going online. Think about it, when you go to a regular store, you're limited by what's there, which means you're also limited by whatever those things cost. And the other thing is, you can't really know if that's a good product. Versus online shopping, you can take the item. Let's say I find exactly what I want. I can put it in Google search and it will search all different stores that I can purchase this so I can see which one's the best deal. The second thing that I can do is I can look at reviews of this product and see if it is a good item. There are so many great ways to online shop. It's one of my favorite ways to save money during the holiday season. Number 5 goes along with number 4, and it's one of my favorite places to shop for the holiday season. Now, you may have your own issues with this company, is what it is. To me, it's the best place to go to find all of these things, and it's Amazon. It's one of my favorite places for holiday deals because one of my favorite tricks is to find what I'm looking for and usually find a few different options and then put it in my cart, and then click this little button called Save for Later. And then I can periodically go back into that saved item folder and look at the prices of those items, and I can actively monitor them. Because if you are familiar with Amazon, you know the price goes up and down constantly. And you can find things on sale that you have been waiting for if you just caution yourself or actually have a little bit of patience and wait for the price to go down. What I find is I am able to see great deals. I can put those in my cart, buy them when they are on a discount. I looked at my cart before I got on this making this video, and I have I think about 15 items that are currently saved in there that I'm monitoring, and that might be items where I have a couple different versions of the same thing or something similar item. That way I can see which one is best. Number 6 is regarding holiday decorations. Did you know that the holiday decoration business is in 2023 was worth $7 billion? That is how much people spend on holiday decorations. It is tremendous to me. I mean, you can go to any Lowe's or Home Depot and see this stuff. And the thing is, when people buy and buy and buy, and then they end up having storage and they store these things, it takes up their entire garage, so you can't even park in your garage. And people actually do this next thing. They actually have storage units just for their Christmas decorations. Now, I love your holiday spirit, absolutely. It's really cool to drive by your house and see all of the things. But the thing about holiday decorations, if you buy quality ones, they will last. And if they last and you use them over and over, and if you have children, and if you are an adult now, you may remember, if your family did this, if holiday decorations or ornaments or little things you set out changed from year to year, you really didn't remember those things. They weren't nostalgic. You see them and have this warm feeling. But for me, there are certain things that cause that warm feeling when I see them, and they are because they are so old and they were used every single holiday season. So staying with the same thing can actually be extremely nostalgic for you. In number 7, I want to talk about giving gifts, unwanted gifts specifically. I found a note that said that some $15.2 billion is purchased in unwanted gifts every year, and 1 in 10 purchases is actually returned. And I think if it were easier to return gifts, such as, you get the receipt to go with it, then that statistic would probably actually be higher. This goes into the fact of you not really knowing what the person wants, not realizing the person already bought what they wanted, not really thinking about that person well enough or knowing them well enough to buy something that you know they're going to use, and just kind of assuming and choosing from the plethora of gifts that are at the front of that store that are holiday themed gifts. It is better to actually ask the person, what is it that you need? What is it that you really want? What are some things that you're interested in? For me personally, the people that I give gifts to, I know well enough. And I know them well enough that I'm able to easily and comfortably, they know they're getting a gift from me, say, hey, what do you want? What would you like? That isn't uncomfortable. For me, if I'm getting somebody a gift, I need to have, you're on that list of people I'm comfortable asking that for. There's not a big list of people I get actual gifts that are specific. So I have that type of relationship with those people because I've pared down the number of gifts I give, just because I also know how much of a stuffed society we live in. So maybe just sit down and ask the person, say, what is it that you would like? And see if you get a better idea so you can cut down on those unwanted gifts. Now, I know there's a lot of gift-themed tips in here, but it's the gift-giving season. That's, one of the loose things that it's called. So some of these tips are going to be geared towards that, although I do have others coming up. But number 8 is also that. Now, one thing that's a great idea to reduce on the amount of stuff and buy something of better quality, perhaps, is doing group gifts. Group gifts can allow you to really get somebody something that they wanted, that they didn't think they could get because maybe it cost a little bit more. So let's take a couple of scenarios. Let's take a brother and sister and their parents. So maybe the brother and sister usually get the parents each a gift and they spend, $40. Well, the brother and sister could go together and spend $80 and get the parents something extra nice, and that way the parents don't have two $40 things. They have one $80 thing that they really, really are going to enjoy. The same thing can be done for nieces or nephews. Let's say you have 3 siblings and you've got one sibling who has a child. Now the other 2 siblings, that child's aunt and uncle perhaps, can go together and get that child something nice. Maybe they only ever got them a few different play sets each year, something small. But this year they really wanted a new bike or a new pair of rollerblades or something like that. Well, that set of siblings can go in together and get that niece or nephew that really cool present. And again, you're cutting down on the amount of things and you're buying more quality things. Number 9 is one of the things that I think is probably, again, one big bucket line item of holiday expenses, and it's regarding food. Raise your hand if you've gone to a holiday event, a party, just a get together with the family, and there's been so much food there. So much food that nobody ever eats, and it sits out too long and completely goes to waste. Hit the like button if you agree with me. The thing with this is you need to make a plan, make a menu, and stick to it. You've had too much food, just pare it down. Make this menu early as well. So stick to the menu is my first part of this tip. And the second is make the menu earlier, because we know that grocery store items, certain things go on sale every so often. Okay, so maybe every 3 weeks or every 4 weeks, something will go on sale. So for things like, let's say you buy pecans or pie shells or evaporated milk or canned pumpkin, any of those shelf-stable items, you know what your plan is for the holiday. Maybe you're the one who has everybody over. And for starting in October, you can be watching for when those things go on sale so you can get them at a better deal throughout the next couple of months. Number 10 is one thing I want to talk about, when we're talking about all this giving. And if you notice a theme with my tips, it's more about giving less but giving better. Making sure that we're not wasting the money, I think, is the best principle there. But then also backing up from that, thinking about what the season really is. And for me as a Christian, it is about when our Lord and Savior that's when we celebrate when our Lord and Savior was born, Jesus. And the giving of loving your neighbor. And one of the cool things that happened this summer that made me think about this one and really maybe giving a tip about giving more this holiday season versus getting, is my daughter went to a birthday party for a set of triplets. And I overheard their mom saying that instead of gifts this year, they asked if they could take whatever money they were going to get from gifts and donate that to the Humane Society for animals, for cats and dogs. And that just warmed my heart that a set of 8-year-olds would have that giving heart. And it gives me a lot of hope. There's a lot of gives in this tip, but it's one thing that we need to think about it and how we can give more. And with all of the natural disasters that have been happening recently, along the southern East Coast, what can we do? What can we help to give back? Because what you see if you watch the news with these things is that people step up. People step up and start collecting when they know that their neighbors are in need. And it's just one thing that this time of the year is something we need to continue to try to make our focus. Okay, now getting back to the practical, we're going to get into the real practical before we get into the gift ideas. So make sure you stick around for that part. But number 11 is first identifying how much you can spend. Everybody is at different places in their life. You may have been saving since January. You may not have anything to spend. That's an important part to really nail down so that you don't go into January and have that holiday hangover of having all these bills come in. Sit down, go through your budget. How much can you allocate the next month or so to put towards your holiday spending? Number 12 goes along with number 11. You want to make sure that you list everything that you're going to be spending money on in the holiday season. It's not just gifts usually. There are more than just gifts that people spend money on. And some of those might be holiday decor. Maybe you do family photos this time of the year. Then you've got maybe Christmas cards and postage. Maybe you also then have shipping for those gifts that you're buying. Maybe your family's not here. You've got travel expenses. Meals and food, as we talked about earlier. Then you've got entertainment and events that you might be going to do. Take all of these things into account when you're deciding how much you want to allocate and how much you can spend, and then allocating to each of those. Number 13 is to make a list. It's the best way to save money at any point in your life. So what you're going to do is have a gift list. You've got that list of the people that you've reevaluated who you are going to buy for. You've got some ideas of what you're going to buy, okay? Then you're going to take, we're going to use round numbers. And let's say you have 5 people and you have $100 budget. So that's $20 a person. Or maybe there's 10 people, it's $10 a person. Again, whatever your budget is. You're going to put that name, how much you're spending, and the idea, okay? And then as you go through and buy, this also helps from buying too much. As you go through and buy, you're going to write down what you purchased and the amount. So keep in mind, this is extremely important so you don't over purchase, so you make sure you've got everybody covered, and that so you can stay within your budget. Number 14 is within that budget for those people. Okay, so let's say you have grandma and you have grandma listed at $50. Just because you don't spend $50 on grandma doesn't mean you have to spend $50 on grandma. So if you save and grandma's gift cost $40, you don't need to go out and buy grandma that $10 gift to add up. Because you could have mom on your list and mom has $50 listed, but her gift, you just can't find it on sale, and maybe instead of $50, it cost $60. So don't let yourself feel as if you have to spend up to that budgeted amount, because within budgets, you always need to be flexible. So if you can continue to save, then do so. And number 15, before we get into the gifts, which is number 16, is to start in January for next year's holiday season, so you don't run into this cramped situation. So think about this. I think it's the statistic is that on average about $1,000 is spent on holiday expenses for a family or per person. I can't remember what it is, but let's just assume it's $1,000 that you want to spend. We round numbers here for purposes of example. Wouldn't it be easier to save $100 a month for 10 months than come up with $1,000 in 2 months? It is so much more simple to have this, what I call reserve funds, or you might hear them called sinking funds, which I think is a dumb term. I think you're reserving for something, things aren't sinking. Just my personal opinion. Either way. But rather than sit $100, it doesn't hurt as much, and you're going to get to that holiday season and be able to enjoy it so much more next year. Number 16, maybe this is the one you've been waiting for, but these are my gift ideas that I don't believe break the bank, and they are less likely to be wasted. So use what you like. Maybe they'll give you an idea for someone that you're just not real sure about. The first one is more of like consumables, and this might be lip balms or scented artisan soaps that you can go and buy at a small boutique to also support a small business, or at a farmer's market if they're still open. You can get lotion bars, bath bombs, candles. Then there's also food items, which is really great for the foodie, and most people at least know one of those. Maybe you get a set of hot sauce collection for the spice lover that you know, or roasted nuts for the nut lover, a set of really cool different versions of those. Perhaps you go and buy some locally made honey or jam. You can also go and get coffee beans. You've got the coffee lover that you know. Go to the local coffee company and buy some coffee beans if you know that person has their own coffee grinder. Now, one of my favorite things to give are fruit baskets. I love this company that you can mail and they deliver, and they've always been great quality. It's Edible Arrangements is one, and Sherry's Berries. When someone has had a baby or unfortunately lost a loved one, or is just not doing well, or even for the holiday season when it's somebody I know I want to get a gift for whatever reason, and I have that, you may not ask what they want, but you know this is a great idea. It's one of those things that you may not think it's really inexpensive, or it's a little bit more expensive, but for me, rather than giving somebody a bouquet of flowers for like a death or a birth, it's something that I know is going to be enjoyed and consumed. And these fruits, when they deliver them, they are fresh and delicious. So that's just one of my most favorite ideas there. Don't forget about experiences or services. Perhaps you get a car wash gift card for the teenager that you know who just got their first vehicle. Maybe that you get tickets to a play or the zoo or an aquarium for a family. Maybe a gift card to a movie theater. There are so many experiences that you can give somebody. You can put it in a really cool box or make it really nice for them to open. It's just another way to think outside of the box of things that you're giving. If you enjoyed this video, please let me know, hit the like button, comment down below, subscribe to the channel. I hope you have a great week, and I look forward to seeing you next weekend for a new video.